People will say that Sirius clears Baby Gal, like Mighty Lord Gal. I've heard people say that she clears. I've heard one person say that she clears, and clearly one person is too many people. That one person is too many people saying that Sirius clears Mighty Lord Gal. They didn't even do their research. They said that they thought Sirius had more HP than Gal. Like, seriously though, clears? Yeah. Hold up, I'm gonna look for the comment on my own so that you guys, so that I don't just like, I don't know, dock something. I'm gonna look for the comments. Also, one of my YouTube comments said, "Bro is not solving racism on one of my dark versus light," and so I think that's funny. Show this person no hate, by the way, because it is all opinion. Let's talk about this. I wanna see. What do you mean by clears? As in, Sirius is far better than Gal. Sirius is far better than Gal, is what they said. That is what they said. Hold up. Let me hide chat for a sec so that you can actually read that. At Division 06, I haven't thought about that comparison, but my immediate thought is Sirius rolls. More immunities, LD, more health, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure, even though they're wrong. Less range, but has Pierce, sounds like a Sirius W IMO. I believe that to be wrong. And also, this is the same person that brought up the whole Battle Cats 2 mechanics thing. So, I just want to say, what the fuck is Battle Cats 2 mechanics? I've never heard of it, aside from that one person that said that Mighty Lord Gao lacks Battle Cats 2 mechanics. Quote unquote. And so, I don't know what that means. I'd say they have similar-ish roles, with Gao being more into range and Sirius more of a tank. The fuck? Do y'all not know? Do y'all not know what the hell you're talking about? The fuck? 430 range is not tank range. And frankly, this dude has more base HP. What do you mean by more of a tank? They're both backliners. Okay, so today I guess we're talking about Sirius versus Mighty Lord Gao, because apparently I need to talk about this. A lot of people ignore recharge time. I will say, a lot of people ignore the recharge time of things like the Pixies, because what happens is they just, for some reason, don't care. Like, I've seen people just straight up not care about the recharge time. Like, look at this fucking recharge time. It's barely worse than Sirius's, with the same DPS. Same base DPS, or same base DPS and HP, with slightly less range, and then that turns Bazibastra into oh, terrible generally, only good against aliens, outclassed by dark heroes. Meanwhile, Sirius has turned into, oh, she's fucking amazing, top 10 Uber. Like, what? Your Cyberpunk needs a tank, what can I say? This is not a fucking tank. If you think Sirius is a tank, then you are doing something wrong. I gotta be honest with you, man. Because this is not a tanker. And if you are tanking with her, if you're tanking with Sirius, she's missing half of her damage. There is only an 80 range threshold where she's actually getting her full DPS. There is only a 80 range threshold where she has all of her DPS. Anything above 1 HP is a tank. Change my mind. Sure. I know it's not tank range. I literally just mean Gao has more range and Sirius has more HP. She does not have more HP. What? How many times do I have to say this? She does not have more HP. This is like, where does everybody get the idea that Sirius has more HP than Gao? Where does everybody get that idea from? You're not the only person that said this, which is why I'm so mad about it. If you're the only one saying it, then sure, I'd be like, oh, everybody makes mistakes. But you're not the only person that thinks this. You're not the only person, which is throwing me the fuck off. Mighty Lord Gao actually has a good amount of HP more than Sirius. And again, I think her DPS is not consistent because she only has an 80 range threshold where all of her DPS is landing. And then thanks to her multi-hit, if the second hit lands and knocks the enemy back, she's not getting this third hit off. Like, why separate these two multi-hits? Why separate them? I don't understand why you would separate these. Like, even in her attack animation, it looks like it should just be 2 hits. Like, you're okay. So what? You're saying that little tiny zap is part of her attack, or is it even part of her attack? Because that, like, I don't even know. It stems from the idea that people think the lower range, the higher the HP, and the higher the range, the lower the HP. I guess that's what people think, but I think a lot of people underestimate just how much HP this guy has. I think a lot of people undervalue Mighty Lord Gao. As somebody that has used him a metric shit ton, he's really fucking good. 470 range is enough range to outrange pretty much anything that isn't camel and directors. Like any of the camel variants and directors, you're outranging with Mighty Lord Gao. And 430 range sure can say the same thing, but it's to less of an extent, and that also makes his survivability better. So his survivability is far better. His damage is comparable, if not barely higher. And it's also more consistent thanks to her multi-hit being weird as fuck and the 80, remember, 80 range. There's only a threshold of 80 range where she's actually hitting her full DPS. You used to use him on Dead by Encore and he one-shot the seal. Exactly. He can absolutely, like, and then they also downplayed his crit. His crit doesn't only help in metal-only stages. Like, metal-only stages are not where his crit helps out. His crit helps out in stages that have a combination of metals and other enemies. And they downplayed the hell out of his crit. Because 5%, maybe it doesn't happen all that often, but it's still helpful whenever it does happen. Because it can clear the metals in a stage, if they're there. So it gives him more usage than Sirius. And Colossus Slayer is really only helpful for Barons, which I don't do Barons, so I don't care. And then her immune to Toxic, sure, you can say that's good. But Gao just straight up outranges anything that's going to Toxic you aside from Papu. And Papu is not a threat. And you can even use Baby Gao for Papu instead of Mighty Lord Gao, but that's besides the point. So you know he's good, you're not disagreeing with you, you're just seeing people see the immunities overshadowing Gao. You would think that. You would think that these immunities are actually valuable, right? I think all of these immunities combined still don't hold a candle to the immunity to waves. Because the immunity to waves gives him usage against Berserk Quarry, gives him usage to pretty much any Quarry variant, actually. Gives him usage against Dobers, gives him usage against a lot of waves. The curse immune is the main thing for people. Just don't let him get hit! He has 470 range. If he's getting hit, it is not the curse that is the problem. And, I mean, only Surge Base and... only Curse Base and the Relic Golem, Sunfish. Those are the only 2 things that he should get cursed by. Curse is not a big deal for him. And Curse also isn't permanent. That's another thing. Curse isn't permanent, so let him get knocked back and defend him again. He's going to get uncursed eventually, because chances are he will not die in 1 hit, even when uncursed. And then, immunity to knockback, that's not a good thing. Immunity to knockback is not a good thing unless, like, maybe Mr. Mole. But then the immunity to warp, that one's only maybe useful against Wawa, like the alien dog Wawa. Or Wan Wan, I don't remember. But these two are not very useful at all. Curse, sure, understandable. Toxic, only one that I really see being very useful thanks to things like Old Stretch existing. But even then, that's not a guaranteed Toxic, first of all. And even then, just outrange it, 4-hit. Immune to Freeze is very niche, and they didn't really argue for Freeze, Slow, and Weaken as things for traded, which is what she's good against. They argued against it. They argued for it as Henry, Croakley, and something else. They didn't even argue about traded enemies doing that kind of stuff, which clearly means it's not a big deal. I understand your argument. I'm arguing in general, not directly with you, alright? Understand that. I respect everything you're saying. I respect everything everybody says. I'm just saying that I don't believe Sirius deserves as much spotlight as she does get. Because she is not a top 10 Uber, in my opinion. There is no way in hell somebody with this inconsistent of a DPS, and, you know, subpar, like, not amazing range, let's be real, and not too valuable of immunities, I don't see how that's top 10. I don't see it. Modern players seeing older units and seeing the newer unit, like that older unit, as better because power creep, which is very dumb. It is dumb because they have the same amount of knockbacks. The only thing I will say about Sirius is her good recharge time. It's 80 seconds. Her recharge time is good, but at the same time, she's expensive. She's not cheap. If she was cheaper, sure, her recharge time would be great. But she's not cheap. It's kind of the same problem that I have with Saki, is that she has a super low recharge time, but a freaking high cost. Meaning that you're having to, you know, if you're in a stage that doesn't give you a whole lot of money, you're not going to want to use her, at least that much. You send her out once, and then you're not going to be able to send her out again, meaning that her recharge time is invalid. It's Gao, but newer, it has to be better, yeah. And a lot of people don't know just how fucked her LD is. A lot of people don't know how fucked her LD is. Because they just see, oh, it's LD, it's amazing, you know? I get that LD is really good. It only pierces 120 from her. It only pierces 80 from him. And thanks to her standing range, even if she pierces 120 from her, she's not hitting backliners. They have to push a little bit in order for her to hit backliners. And her LD doesn't even outrange Camel. Or Director Kurosawa. They both have 550, right? Or does Camel have 500? I don't remember, but this doesn't even outrange the backliners. So she's not even hitting backliners safely, even with her LD. And so, or super backliners safely with her LD. And don't forget, I know I've said this a lot, but I really need to make people know this for sure. I really need to let people know this. She only has an 80 range where she's actually getting all of her hits in. It's only 80 range where she's getting everything to hit in, which means that this is a lot of the time only going to be half as much. So like her DPS is 7,500 if everything hits against anything with a trait. It's only like 3,700 for the most part, which is still the same as his all the time. And you're not even factoring in his crit, by the way. His crit, gives him a 7% damage increase or something like that. So, I mean, it's something at least. Or DPS increase. The other problem is making the comparison between these units with different roles in a sense so that there is an argument. Exactly. She's an LDer. He's a backliner, essentially. But like what I'm arguing for, I'm not necessarily arguing that she's not better than Gao. I don't think she's better than Gao, but I'm not necessarily arguing for that. I'm arguing for in the sense that she does not belong in top 10. She does not belong in top 10. Ain't no way. No fucking way does she belong in top 10. But I've seen so many people say that she's top 10 Uber. Like, it's crazy. Not from you, but when basically comparing Bazi Basho versus Dazzly because of generalist usage and completely ignoring Bazi specialist usage. Yes. But you know what? I actually want to bring Bazi back out here. I want to bring Bazi back out here. Because he was a very good comparison. Let's get off of Baby Gao. Let's get off of Gao because I've already talked enough about him. But let's talk about Bora. In Bora's Ultra Form, let's set his Ultra Form... You know what? No, let's not set his Ultra Form to anything. This is his Ultra Form at level 60? Let's look at Sirius at level 60. I want to show you something. Worse base DPS than Bora. Same range. Where's her range? Whatever. Same standing range as Bora. Much less base HP. Obviously base, so effective HP is obviously better. And similar recharge time. Speed doesn't really matter all that much. Knockback is only slightly worse. And we're not even considering his specialist usage. Everybody talks about Sirius being better, like, top 10, you know? Everybody says that she's comparable for top 10. And then nobody mentions Bora. Nobody mentions him. Like, I mean, I know she has LD, but her LD kind of fucks her over a little bit if you think about it. Meanwhile, Bora has a consistent DPS. Like, am I wrong for comparing these two? They're very similar whenever it comes to base stats. The only thing he's missing is his LD and quick attack frequency. And even then, her attack frequency is not that long. It's actually longer than Mighty Lord Gao's. So I don't see why everybody considers her for top 10, because there's no way in hell she's top 10. She's not better than Amaterasu. She's not better than Mighty Lord Gao, in my opinion. This is all in my opinion. Don't forget. How the fuck do Amaterasu? Mirror Hughes. Because I think a lot of people also compare her to Amaterasu. Since Amaterasu is compared to Mighty Lord Gao. Everybody says that just Mighty Lord Gao is better, so they act like she's better than Amaterasu. But Amaterasu's recharge time isn't too bad. It's not too bad. Same knockback, plus with talent she has guaranteed chance to survive a lethal strike. She also has Barrier Breaker and Zombie Killer with talents, allowing for her to have even more generalist usage, whilst having similar HP, whilst having massive damage instead of strong against, so her DPS goes from against things with treasures from 3.5k to what? 14,000 DPS. Almost double that of Sirius's against straight-at enemies, whilst having more standing range and better survivability and more generalist usage. I don't see. Maybe a comment can help explain from personal usage is the hope. They never said personal usage. They never mentioned personal usage. But yeah, people have forgotten about Amaterasu just because of Curse. Just because of Curse, people have forgotten about her, but she has Zombie Killer. Like, with talent, she has Zombie Killer, and she has guaranteed chance to survive a lethal strike. She is very good if you invest in her. Like, she is very fucking good. I don't see why people have just decided to start overlooking her. It's actually crazy. She's amazing. And then people will still say, oh, Sirius is better. Like, brother. Brother. I don't see it. I do not understand it, and I will never understand it. If you did enjoy, please do. Come back for more. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace!